What's up, y'all? Good morning. I had a question, right? I'm going to give you a scenario, and you let me know if that's crazy or if that's honorable. All right. Say husband and wife, right? Say the husband has like a midnight shift, right? Like say like 4 to midnight, whatever. But he gets off at midnight, right? The husband gets off at midnight. And say you live in like a city or town and it's like 30 minutes to go pick him up by car. And there's public transportation, but he would have to take public transportation at midnight in, say, a city, a vibrant city, New York, Detroit, LA, Chicago, a city where, transportation is always on 24 hours, right? He gets off at midnight. Driving, you are half an hour away, at the most. Is it crazy for the husband to want the wife to come get him by car, right? They can't afford to drive downtown and park every night, or maybe they don't have 2 cars, right? So, all right, the scenario is they have 1 car, the husband gets off at midnight, they live a half an hour away from the job, he wants the wife to come pick him up every night from work. She works too, though, so she's gonna get up like 6, 7 in the morning and go to work. Is it crazy or honorable for the husband to want the wife to pick him up at midnight from work? Now, I'm going to flip that. That's what happened with my grandmother. She worked and got off at midnight from Midtown Manhattan. We lived in Manhattan. My whole family grew up in Harlem. All the transportation is working. All the buses are working. She could take a taxi. That'd be expensive, right? This is not days of Uber and Lyft. This is 40 years ago. Her husband, my grandfather, picked her up every night, faithfully. Picked up at midnight, while he still worked and when he was retired. Picked up at night. When he passed away, my uncle-in-law, who was married to my aunt, picked her up every night. Now, he worked for housing, like the projects, so he had to get up early to go to work. He still got up, 11:30, go pick her up, drop her off. She lived like 7 minutes from where he lived, all in Harlem, so it's not going to be far from each other. And had to get up like super early to go to work. But he picked her up every night. Is that honorable or crazy? That's honorable. It was my grandfather's pleasure to pick up his bride, to make sure she was safe, to inconvenience himself, get up out of bed, no matter what the weather, drive down, pick her up. Now, did he pick up 1,000 out of 1,000 nights? I don't know. I was a little kid, but I did know he picked her up every night. And I did know my uncle-in-law picked her up when my grandfather passed away. So is it honorable, or should she have taken public transportation? Now, granted, we Midtown Manhattan, it's public transportation everywhere. The gift of living in Manhattan, you could get anywhere public transportation. It's the best commute, public transportation. It has to be ever or tied forever. Buses go cross town, buses go uptown, downtown, trains go uptown, downtown. Trains don't go cross unless it's a shuttle, right? Times Square shuttle, whatever. The shuttle. But for my New Yorkers, you know what I'm talking about. But is it crazy or honorable? So I flip that. Say you work weird hours, right? And you desire your wife to cook, to be in charge of meal prep. Is it crazy for her to get up at an inconvenient hour to make sure you have a warm breakfast, even if she has to go back to sleep before she gets up for work? Is it crazy or is it honorable? You guys know what I think, man. I think it's honorable to inconvenience yourself for your bride if it's the best scenario for the team. If it's the best case, right? If you had to pick up your spouse at a midnight shift and leave the kids alone. That would be dangerous. That wouldn't be the honorable thing to do. If you gotta all wake them up, pack them in the car, and disrupt their sleep, and that's not honorable. That's probably not the best case scenario. It would behoove her to get a job that she could get home safer or a different shift if possible, as soon as possible. But for a spouse to inconvenience themselves for their loved one is a pleasure. It would be my pleasure to pick up my bride to make sure she's good. It'd be my joy, my pleasure. It should be your spouse, your wife's pleasure to inconvenience herself to make sure you're good. That's what marriage is, bro. So all these people that's on the internet, I'm not cooking, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. Again, my last message was sacrifice. I'm on it again, bro, because I just thought about my grandparents. She got picked up in a beautiful Lincoln Town car every night, right in front of the building. I forget the number of the building. It was 42nd Street, across the street from Gramercy Park. She got picked up every night. Every night. And it was beautiful. I don't remember anybody snickering like, man, Bob does too much for her. He spoils her. She appreciated him, and he loved her. And it worked. They had a great marriage as far as I remember. It worked. And then my uncle-in-law sacrificed his sleep to pick her up. So I'm just saying, man, is it crazy or is it honorable to inconvenience yourself for your spouse? I think it's honorable. And especially if your spouse appreciates you for it, if it's best for the unit, for the team. Now, if she works somewhere crazy, yeah, you got to pick up. If she works somewhere like it's super easy, the bus is like right in front of the job. Granted, the bus was right in front of the job, the bus stop. It was right in front of the job. She could have took a bus across town and took a train. She could have been home. So it wasn't crazy for her to get home. I know that facts because I worked up the block later as in my early 20s. So I know the commute. And I lived with her, so I knew her address well. Is it crazy or is it honorable? Post your thoughts in the comments. I think it's honorable to inconvenience yourself for your spouse. Within what works for the team, right? Not work for your personal feelings. I don't feel like getting up. I'm sure my grandfather didn't always feel like leaving the house on a blistery winter Wednesday where it's 20 degrees, 10 degrees, snowing. I gotta clean off the car. I gotta get out of my PJs and go pick her up. I'm sure my uncle-in-law, who had to get up probably 4 in the morning because he worked for the housing, the projects, didn't want to get up on a winter night, clean off the car, go pick her up, come back, lay down for a few hours. I'm sure. But they saw it honorable to treat their queen and honor an elder in the family, his mother-in-law, like that. So it's probably a thin line between that's crazy and that's honorable, that's beautiful. It's probably a thin line. I'd love to know what y'all think. Hit me up in the comments. I hope this gave somebody food for thought. All right, love y'all.